Avinash Paliwal, does this entire episode show that countries like India need to be very, very watchful in terms of the reliance they place in the US to be able to support them in a future real or covert or overt war with China? Because what the Americans have shown is if it doesn't suit them at that moment, they can pack up, leave their own citizens behind in a country like Afghanistan without caring of how they'll come back. So the amount of reliance we can place in the eventuality of a conflict with China really needs to be assessed very carefully.
Rahul, yes and no. Yes, every leader, whether it's President Biden or previously it was Donald Trump, they will keep the domestic political considerations into play. And you can see the way President Biden has been making statements about Afghanistan. He has not really been talking about the Afghan lives lost. He's been solely focused on the losses of the Americans. So it shows something that this is a power which, at least for now, you certainly cannot write off the Americans, but they're very internally focused despite having a global agenda. And that puts India in a very uncomfortable position. Having said that, I don't think that they are willing to or will likely to give up on strategic alliances like that with India, especially on the question of China, solely because China is a very important domestic issue in the United States as of now. As far as India completely relying on the US, I would say that we should have never done ever. Not now, not before. India's national interests should dictate its alliances. We should never go by the political logics of a different country. I don't know how will the Americans deal with radical Islamist forces, which will get a fillip from now on, while simultaneously challenging the Chinese rise, as we have seen. So we need to see how the Americans deal with these larger dual strategic challenges. We keep focusing on the Chinese, but the fact is that global Islam, radical Islam as a force, has not died down, and it's gonna raise other issues.
And are you concerned, Mr. Abdul Basit, that a lot of this radical Islam may now come back to bite Pakistan? Because earlier the ISI gave shelter to Taliban leaders as America bombed different parts of Afghanistan. Now that some of Pakistan's most wanted men are out of Afghan jails, they're not just going to sit around in Afghanistan in the backlands, in the outlands. They'll probably want to come and attack Pakistan. How big a concern is that for you, and what do you make of Taliban's overtures towards India? Stanik, for example, talking about cultural, political ties, wanting to build relations with India. I'm sure that's not something that Pakistan would have anticipated or liked very much, given the role that Pakistan played in helping create circumstances which are conducive for a Taliban takeover.
No, as regards your latter question, we have no issue. Afghanistan and India are two sovereign states. So far as Afghanistan is not used against Pakistan, we have no issue. I mean, India and Afghanistan can always have a good relationship. That doesn't bother me, at least. As regards your first question, obviously we do have concerns. Though the Taliban have assured us categorically that they would not allow their territory to be used by the likes of the TTP or Balochistan Liberation Army or Balochistan Republican Army, we will see how things really pan out. But at the moment, we are working with them in order to ensure that their territory is not used against Pakistan. There are always, big ifs and buts. But as I said at the very outset, the juries is still out. We would like them to give them time. We would like to encourage them to be on the right track. And this is what Pakistan is currently doing.